Rebecca from AccuQuilt, and I am here to show you today our adorable propeller plains baby quilt. I call it a baby quilt, probably because I have grandsons at home that are babies, but we are going to show you this. It is made with one of our special anniversary edition dies, the airplanes. Now the die is going to feature two different airplanes. We've got a great airplane and the biplane. For today, I'm going to show you how to embroider the plane on this quilt if this is a project that you'd like to make. Now, one of the special features about our anniversary dies is that inside the packaging, you're going to find a link to download free embroidery so that you can make this project or anything else that you can come up with in your imagination with these dies. These are special anniversary limited edition dies, so you'll see they're in different packaging and a special blue tray as well. So I want to get started and help you with this. If you have any trouble downloading that embroidery, you can also go to your local dealer. For right now, again, we're going to do our little airplane. Now we've already cut this out and I just need to peel off the backing. There is a video about this if you want to see any other tips on cutting this out, but we fused our fabric first, then cut it out using our die. We've got our background hooped and we're ready to go. One real quick thing that was really slick about making this particular project was that my hoop, and probably yours as well, does show a center point on the hoop. And because we're embroidering onto a 4-patch, I was able to perfectly line that up with my seam lines matching those center points on my hoop, and it made it really easy to get a great finished product. So let's go to our machine. Again, if you've got any questions on formats or what format you need or using your machine, be sure to go back to your dealer for your machine. But we're ready to go and I'm going to get us started. So the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to stitch out a placement stitch. This is going to show us exactly where to put our background, our largest shape, which is our airplane. Now, we are using a bright pink thread so that you could see it well, but normally you would want to match maybe your background for the placement stitch and then maybe a coordinating or even an accent thread for the upper thread. Now we've got a cute little orange airplane and I'm excited because my grandson John's favorite color is orange. He only eats the orange M&Ms out of the package, so we're going to make an orange plane for John. Now it's going to give me that background stitch and then I'll be able to take it off the machine, place it perfectly. I'm going to move my windshield here so I don't adhere it to the back. Now I usually use a lightweight or a fusible interfacing when doing this, and be sure you lightly iron on this. We don't want to get our fabric too tough because we're going to be going back and embroidering over the top. Okay. So now we're ready to get our airplane shape on. Now there is one thing that I want to share. When you look at our airplane, you might not realize it, but it is actually a directional shape. So you may go to lay this out and put it down and realize that you are not lining up with your stitching lines. That's because it is a directional shape. So be sure you do a test. Make sure that you get this the correct way, and you want to, as always, follow your directions. I'm terrible at that, so that's why I tell you to do it. You always know if I tell you in a video to follow directions that it's important, because I'm personally terrible at doing it. So you can see that when we use the right shape, we have it the right direction. We're perfectly matched up. Now I am going to go in, I'm going to tack down those edges. Again, we want this to have a great finished product for us. We want it to look really professional and it's going to look so great. I'm going to lightly tack these down. Again, I don't ever want to overpress when I've got my fusible here. And we are tacked down enough to know we've got a great secure product. We're going to take it back to the embroidery machine. Go ahead, get this loaded. I'll lock that in. And we're ready to get started. Now we are going to be stitching out a blanket stitch for this one. We've got 3 stitches included, and there's going to be a satin stitch, a motif stitch, and the blanket stitch. We're going to use the blanket stitch on this one now. Great. We have got our airplane with its blanket stitch all the way around it, and I'm going to go ahead and do the placement stitch for the windshield. We've got one more little piece here, and we're going to do that before I take it out of the hoop here. And that windshield is going to be the last piece that we're embroidering on this. It's going to do that placement stitch then on top of the airplane, just exactly where we need it. Great, okay. And now you can see we've got this little piece and it's going to fit right there for us. Again, it's going to be just perfect for us. Little tiny pieces in some of these that you sure would be a little bit difficult probably to hand embroider or to do on your machine by yourself. Not impossible, but certainly easy with your downloadable embroidery and your embroidery machine. We'll get this back in the machine and finish it off in no time. And we're done. Just that quickly, we are done. We've got our perfect little airplane block ready to go into our propeller plane quilt here. It's perfectly stitched down by making our 4-patch, hooping it with our stabilizer, using our embroidery. We've got it perfectly centered. It just turned out beautifully. Now remember, this die is one of our 10th anniversary dies. It's one of 3 special edition dies. We know you're going to want to collect all 3, but don't delay because we know they're going to go fast. So this die with its special anniversary packaging, remember, will have that downloadable embroidery inside so that you can make a plane just like this one. We look forward to seeing your inspiration and all the things that you do. If you want to make this particular quilt, the pattern is available for you at AccuQuilt.com. We hope you'll share your version and any other projects that you come up with using this anniversary die for us at AccuQuilt.com as well. For more inspiration, be sure you follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Pinterest, and of course Twitter as well. We hope you'll use this die, all of our anniversary dies, and our whole AccuQuilt line to make your projects, because at AccuQuilt we help you cut time so you can quilt more.